Hello, we need to talk about the difference between darts versus pleats versus gathers when it comes to pattern making, because all of these techniques are a way to take a bigger piece of fabric and then make one area of it smaller without actually removing any of the fabric. Now, the easiest way to see this is through skirts. This skirt is a fitted skirt, and it has darts going from the hip up to the waist because obviously butts are bigger than waists. Therefore, this needs to be smaller at the top in order to properly fit a person better. Darts give you a very clean, very smooth finished look. I do not want to hear any comments about how this needs to be ironed. I don't care. Now, gathers, on the other hand, it basically takes this bigger rectangle of fabric and scrunches it up in one spot. And gathers have a much more randomized, almost wrinkled look to them, but they still do the same purpose, in which they take a bigger piece of fabric and make it smaller somewhere. Pleats, on the other hand, still take a bigger piece of fabric and they make it smaller, but instead of scrunching them, you very, very carefully fold the fabric. And it gives this look where things kind of fold open and it's still big here at the bottom, but it's smaller at the top. And it gives it a bit of a smoother, cleaner finish. Now, darts are a little bit of an outlier between these three techniques because with darts, it just doesn't work nearly as well with large amounts of fabric where you have to get a significant reduction. Whereas with pleats and gathers, you can get a significant reduction of a very large piece of fabric. And these techniques don't just have to be on skirts. You can see this is a gathered rectangle that has been gathered into a smaller rectangle, another bigger rectangle that has been gathered into a smaller rectangle, but it's not just on the skirt. It's also here in order to define an empire waistline. It's also up here at the neckline in order to kind of get that little gathered, scrunched look. It's also here on the sleeve in order to get a puffy sleeve, and here at the armhole at the bottom of the sleeve to get that puffy look. Darts are also extremely common to attain shaping around the bust area. But I did also use it at one point around a shoulder on a cape because I needed things to be smaller up here and bigger at the bottom. And the exact same rules apply to pleats. All these things are techniques to take a piece of fabric and shape them and manipulate them to become what you want them to be. They can be used anywhere. The limit is just your imagination, and also the laws of physics.